This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. It's Tuesday, August 25th. Well, the Nye County Board of Commissioners continue to discuss and amend the Nye County CARES Act policy. The board is working to refine the rules that will determine which Nye County small businesses will receive funds. Missy Kohler has more.
The CARES Act authorized $150 billion through the fund for state and local government, including $1.25 billion for Nevada. The state of Nevada received $836 million from the fund. Nye County was allocated $8,496,059 in CARES Act funding. The Coronavirus Relief Fund may be used to cover costs that were incurred during the period of March 16, 2020 and December 30, 2020. They will cover necessary expenditures incurred during the public health emergency with respect to COVID-19. Small businesses may receive funding for personal protective equipment rental, assistance, and working capital. Public programs will be able to receive assistance for rent, mortgage, and utility assistance to the public. Funds may also be used for food assistance for the public. Commissioner Blundow expressed the importance of keeping the program open to all.
I want this program to be open and accessible as possible. One of the reasons being is that I've seen other programs, whether they be federal or through the state, that certain restrictions get imposed and then people are just caught. I'm really disappointed on a specific program that's stating, we're here for black and brown minorities. I'm like, wait a minute, that's exclusionary. I don't want to exclude people. I'm trying to make these processes simple, open, available, and obviously they will be first come, first serve. We're trying to help and serve our community. There's going to be a gap between here and the recovery. I'm infusing Nye County with these funds, and I hope it helps our economy. Every local business that a dollar goes through is being local and spent here, the taxes, etc. It's just got a fantastic ripple effect. We're trying to help people and help businesses in this community.
And make it as easy as possible.
Thanks, Missy. Well, the Board of County Commissioners hopes to open CARES Act programs on September 1st to those that qualify. A copy of that Nye County CARES Act policy can be found on the August 18th Board of County Commissioners agenda at nyecounty.net. Well, 3 incidents and 3 arrests. Missy Kohler tells us what happened, who's under arrest, and what charges they are facing.
Noel Mahelson was arrested on August 10th and charged with domestic battery by strangulation and violation of probation on condition of suspended sentence. Officers responded to a report of a domestic at about 1 a.m. The victim had reportedly been thrown into the trailer and was bleeding from her head. Once officers made contact with Mahelson, they noticed that he could not sit still. His speech was slurred and he was hyper. The victim alleged that Mahelson had been acting odd for most of the day. When the victim asked to go to sleep, Mahelson allegedly began to choke her with both hands. He shoved her into a mirror, causing her to hit her head. When officers asked if Mahelson was under the influence of a controlled substance, he said that he had used methamphetamine all day. Mahelson was transported to NCDC. Officers arrested Mark Lee on the evening of August 21st. Lee was observed riding his horse on the roadway in the area of Charleston Park and David. Several vehicles reported almost hitting him due to having no taillights. The officer attempted to conduct a traffic stop by turning on the vehicle emergency lights. Lee stated that his horse had the right-of-way. Lee left the scene on his horse. He was charged with reckless riding of a horse on a public street and making a false statement to obstruct an officer. Nye County Sheriff's Office was dispatched for a report of domestic battery on August 11th. The victim reported that her husband, Brian Lockwood, and she had been having an argument during which he allegedly pinned her on the sofa and had both hands around her throat, making it hard for her to breathe. A witness reported that she heard screaming and saw the suspect on top of the victim with his hands around her throat. Lockwood was placed under arrest and booked into NCDC. He is charged with battery by strangulation.
Thanks so much, Missy. We'll have more news, including your business news, right after this.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, President Trump is now the GOP's official presidential nominee. Laptop computers are in short supply, and a Zoom outage sends the company's stock lower. Here's Angela Miles.
Topping our news, President Trump is officially the Republican Party's presidential nominee. The president accuses Democrats of using COVID to defraud the American people of a fair election by using mail-in ballots. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy clashed with House Democrats on Monday over the removal of mailboxes and mail sorting machines. DeJoy tells Democrats he gives a lot of money to Republicans, but insists he is still an independent Postmaster General. Laptop computers are in short supply. Just as many students will be taking classes from home, the Associated Press uncovered that it could take months for some 5 million computers to arrive. School districts blame trade sanctions. Popular video conferencing company Zoom ran into trouble on Monday. Just as some school districts were starting classes, Zoom outages were reported, causing that stock to drop during the day. The issue was resolved before noon Eastern.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, you may have noticed some people in your neighborhood knocking on doors. Those people would likely be the 2020 census workers. Those receiving a knock at the door are likely to be part of the non-response follow-up operation. Census workers will visit every household that has not already responded to the 2020 census, and in some cases have responded but are doing a follow-up to confirm certain data. These visits are scheduled now to take place until September 30th. Workers will ask a few questions, and the answers will be entered on their secure smartphones. If a family member is not home, they will leave a notice of their visit along with information about how to respond online or by phone. Census workers will follow social distancing protocols with regard to health and safety. If you have not responded to the 2020 census, you can still respond by phone or online. You can go online to the 2020census.gov or by calling. And that number to call is 844-330-2020. And right now we're going to tell you what's going on at the Senior Center. That is remained closed right now to seniors due to the coronavirus pandemic. But while the center is quiet, Ann Harris tells News 25, volunteers continue to work behind the scenes, providing meals for those in need.
We are doing our drive-up lunches still. We have been doing this since March 18th on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, from 10:30 to 12:30. Anybody that would like to come through and pick up a lunch, a senior is $3 donation. Anybody over the age of 60. They're still made here on the property. We package them in go cartons, and they come by. We have a little shed out there and a girl out there that's handing out meals, and pick it up and take it home. Unfortunately, we can only take it home to eat, but hopefully, maybe soon, by the first of the year, I'm hoping that we can get back to normal, whatever normal is these days.
Exactly. So are you checking in on the seniors, or are you doing the home meals?
We're also doing homebound meals, yes. We've still got over 100 people on our Meals on Wheels program, and a lot of them are people who aren't able to get to the grocery store, don't have, a way to get there. So we've kind of eased up on our requirements a little bit on the homebound because of the COVID situation.
Can people donate? Can they find out more about the programs?
Absolutely. You can call us at the center, which is 727-5008. My extension is extension 4. Any questions that you have, we can be happy to answer. We're always here for the seniors. We're still giving wheelchairs, walkers, anything like that people need. We're still making sure that happens. All we need to do is have them call first because the center itself is closed.
And you notice that shield that Ann was wearing in that video. She says that those ones don't have the headband around the top, and that is more comfortable because it allows airflow. So the Prump Senior Center is ordering some of those for the seniors and their workers as well, and they're only $3 each. Well, if you live in Prump, you most likely already know this, but a new study confirms it. Prump is one of the most affordable places to live in Nevada.
Smart Asset crunched the numbers, and those numbers reveal Pahrump as one of the most affordable places to live in Nevada, coming in at number 10 on the top 10 list. Smart Asset's study says Spring Creek is the most affordable place to live in the Silver State, and the places in between, Sun Valley is number 2, followed by Moapa Valley, Winnemucca, Elko, Fernley, Cold Springs, Whitney, and Lemon Valley. Pahrump rounds out the list. To find the most affordable places to buy a home, Smart Asset considered closing costs real estate taxes, homeowners insurance, and mortgage rates in the analysis. Places where the homeownership costs were most affordable compared to the local median income ranked highest in the study. Each city was then assigned an affordability index on a scale from 0 to 100, with the most affordable location receiving a score of 100. In Nevada, that affordability index ranged from just under 54 for Spring Creek to about 34 for Pahrump. Smart Asset analyzed cities across the U.S. You can check out affordability in other states using their online interactive map at smartasset.com.
All right, more news after this, including another victim of the October 1 mass shooting.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, one more person has died as a result of the 1 October mass shooting. A California medical examiner has ruled that Kimberly Gervais is the 59th victim of the shooting. Gervais died last year as a result from a gunshot wound she suffered from the Las Vegas Route 91 Harvest Festival, in which a lone gunman opened fire on a crowd of concertgoers, injuring over 500 and now killing the 59th victim before he took his own life. The death of Kimberly Gervais has officially been ruled a homicide. San Bernardino County coroner deputies have confirmed the death. The 57-year-old has been paralyzed since she was shot on October 1st of 2017. Well, dozens of people turned out this weekend for a quarterly event in Pahrump called the Homeless Wraparound. The event, hosted by Nye Communities Coalition, brings together community services that cater to the homeless and their needs. Nicole McComas of Nevada Outreach spoke with News 25 about the event and the people it helps.
We're here today doing an outreach for the homeless. We have brought food and clothing and other resources. There's job resources and housing and other things like that. It was started before I took over the FRC. It was started by John and Nancy Walker at You Matter Ministries, and when that was dissolved, I decided to pick it up as a project for the FRC. We have breakfast for them to take back to camp, waters, other kinds of canned goods. We have a gentleman who is passing out shoes, and we have 2 or 3 different organizations passing out clothing.
Our mission started with helping the homeless. There's a great need, and I don't like red tape. I don't feel like if somebody needs a jacket, they should have to prove they need a jacket. And so I started my nonprofit solely out of my home. I've had great volunteers. My other business, that's what we were about, is helping our community, and it kind of grew from there. And so now we actually have an office. We are doing active outreach every day of the week. Anybody that has a need in our community, I try to fill it. If I can, maybe not financially at this point, I would like to get there. Right now, it's more about clothing, household items. If I can connect them with other resources, because I am connected with a lot of people in our town, then I try to do that, because I can't fill every gap, but I can cut through a lot of the questions and save them a lot of time and money trying to get to those resources. Our next thing is going to be a thrift store, and then from there a soup kitchen diner style, and then eventually I hope to change the minds of our community and let a shelter be in place. I was one of the organizers of this event. Nevada Outreach, they hosted it, and I helped organize it. And we all come together to help our community. I have great partnerships with people in our community, and I'm so grateful for them.
I'm the owner and founder of Bill's Old Shoe Recycling. We recycle old shoes for the homeless and needy families and people who have had disasters. What we're doing is we're giving the homeless and needy families a good pair of shoes for their old shoes. Just basically a shoe exchange, because the old shoes, they get ground up and turned into playground mats. But none of them go in our landfills. Nike shoes is making them into playground mats. They make playground mats, basketball courts, tennis courts, football fields, soccer fields, and running tracks out of them.
Well, the governor announces a new state initiative aimed at climate change here in Nevada. The initiative includes a new website which serves as the state's official climate change portal.
Monday, Governor Steve Sisolak launched the new State of Nevada Climate Initiative, or NCI, to further advance Nevada's efforts to address climate change. The first-of-a-kind initiative includes a new website, climateaction.nv.gov, to serve as the state's official online climate resource. NCI's mission is simple: to ensure a healthy, vibrant, climate-resilient future for Nevada. NCI collaborates with public, private, and nonprofit entities to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to develop innovative solutions to help protect our natural resources. ClimateAction.nv.gov outlines the state's plan for tackling climate change, and the goals of Nevada Climate Initiative will likely expand, evolve, and move in new directions as the state continues to identify new and emerging opportunities to protect Nevada from the impacts of climate change. Governor Sisolak encourages all Nevadans to check out the website and complete an online climate survey to help shape the future of climate action in our state. The website also allows visitors to sign up for a variety of virtual engagement activities, which will provide all Nevadans with opportunities to weigh in on the coming climate strategy. Governor Sisolak says now more than ever we need everyone's help to foster a healthy, sustainable, climate-friendly future for Nevada. Once again, the website is climateaction.nv.gov.
Thanks to Brad Francis for that report. Well, fall allergy season may be tricky this year with COVID-19 in the mix. Allergy symptoms often mimic those of coronavirus. But according to Cleveland Clinic allergist Sandra Hong, there are a couple of telltale signs that it's not allergies.
With coronavirus symptoms, very frequently they'll come on with fevers. If you have a fever, it's not going to be allergies. If you have diarrhea, that's also not allergies. That's something completely different.
Cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, fatigue, and loss of taste and smell are all coronavirus symptoms, but they're also common in people with allergies. Dr. Hong says another good way to decipher between the two is itching. If your eyes, nose, throat, and ears are itching like crazy, it's likely allergies. And if you get the same symptoms at the same time every year, you probably have allergies. How long you suffer is also a clue.
Typically with coronavirus, the symptoms will last for a couple weeks. They can sometimes be lingering, but typically not like allergies where they could be months on end, a whole season.
If you have fall allergies each year, you're probably all too familiar with what makes you feel miserable. However, if any new symptoms arise, Dr. Hong says it's a good idea to contact a healthcare professional to rule out COVID-19.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler for KPVM Channel 25 News. We're out here with the traffic and weather report today. We'll get to the weather in just a little bit. Traffic seems to be flowing nicely down here at the corner of Highway 160 and Basin. And of course, that's the Bob Rube Community Center, the place where Saturday at 8 a.m. Pahrump Neighborhood Cleanup is organizing a cleanup for the town, and volunteers will be showing up about 8 o'clock. There'll be lots of food and fun stuff to do as you clean up the town. They shut it off a little bit because of COVID earlier in the season, but it's time to do it. So that'll be here Saturday, and we'll have some hot weather for that and all the news about the weather this weekend coming up after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada, from the KPVM Weather Studios. This is your Channel 25 weather report. Fernley today saw 90 degrees for a high, 62 as a low. Fallon checking in at 95 degrees. A little bit hotter down in Fallon. What's going on there? 61 for a low. Carson City saw 89 today for a high. It'll be 56 tonight at some point in the evening, and that'll be nice. 93 degrees in Tonopah was our high today. 58 degrees for a low, and that's feeling good. Goldfield looking at 95 degrees for a high today, 59 degrees, and it'll be shimmering down overnight. 104 degrees in Beatty as we head south, 71 for a low in Amargosa, 108. Oh, Lord, 108 degrees feels like 108 degrees. 75 for a low. Las Vegas saw 110 degrees with an 84 for a low. And out in Death Valley, don't you know, 119 degrees, 90 was your low. That's pretty dang hot, pretty dang hot. I thought it was supposed to be cooling off, and then they lied to me. And then I had to lie to you, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Like High today of 106 degrees here in Pahrump. 102 is our current temperature. Winds feeling good out of the south-southwest like a trade wind with just a little bit of 12% humidity mixed in there, making it feel balmy and good. A sunrise this morning at 6:10 a.m. and that looked good. We enjoyed that. Smoke coming down a little bit. I see a little haze out there. It's a little smoky. You might want to be careful if you're out doing a heavy exercise or if you've got respiratory issues. 102 degrees currently is our temperature. It'll see 79 tonight. In the wee hours, winds east-southeast at 11 miles per hour, and a sunset tonight at 7:22 p.m. Let's check out the local weather as we go on our 7-day forecast. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, hanging in there at about 105, 103, 101 as we head towards the weekend. It'll be cooling off just a smidge, but our lows sticking in the low 70s in the evening, so that'll feel good. A lot of clear skies, not a lot of danger weather, despite the redness in the weekend. Well, that's your weather report. I'm John Kohler. We'll see you.
Thanks, John. Well, those overnight lows in the 70s look pretty good to me. I got to say, the neighborhood cleanup is this weekend. It starts at 8 a.m. We're going to do it at 8 instead of 9 because it's going to be hot. And so we're going to meet at the Bob Roode Community Center approximately 7:30 in the morning. The Bob Roode is at the corner of Basin and Highway 160. For more information, go to the Pahrump Neighborhood Cleanup Facebook page. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.